Welcome to the OFX podcast. I'm Dave Claxton. Along with me, as always, is our totally tardy track star, Bethany McChesney. And yeah, I just came up with that one because you were late.
I was late, but some days I don't. If anyone works in a gym or as a personal trainer, you will know that sometimes half of your job is like little counseling sessions with people. And today I felt like all of my clients needed a Bethany ear, and yeah, after every class, there was someone that stuck around and just needed to like unload a little bit. So I think part of your personal training courses should be a little bit of counseling people. So it's kind of what we do.
I think this is a good idea because I think when you take and I think to one of the courses that Riley took, and near the end, a lot of it was like sales, like how to sell your stuff. And I'm like, I think, no, you're right. It shouldn't be that. It should be how to counsel people and how to like listen because
Yeah.
you are the bartender of the fitness world.
Yes. Yeah. And you know, the gym is therapy for a lot of people, right? And you're dealing with stuff and you know, when you're having a rough day, you go to the gym and like that kind of deals with that emotional release piece and the physical release and then sometimes and I mean a lot of my clients are women and who also like to talk a little bit more than men do. And yeah, some days it's a lot. And yeah, some days there's a lot of dumping like we're gonna dump and which is totally fine and it is part of the job that again I going into it I didn't realize how much of it might necessarily be this way but yeah some days it's a lot and I feel like so much happened on the weekend and yeah so there was a lot of dumping today so I was a little bit late getting home from the gym.
My day at work today, I was where I had to work was I mean it was up climbing in these rafters and stuff and it was so hot and so dirty and dusty that I was so through everything. I had to throw away the covering stuff I was using. They were just so bad. So I can relate to a rough day at work. That was rough. That was rough. But it was
Mhm.
these, we can only do it so long. And then they're like, okay, get down, you're gonna die.
Yeah, we're in a heat wave. It's been rough.
Oh yeah. But you know what? I'll take it. I'll still take it over the snow. Screw the snow and ice. I don't want it ever
Yeah,
come back.
me too.
Okay, so this will be like a catch-up episode
Hmm.
because we were really going to do stuff last week, and then out of nowhere, I got Lauren to jump on, and so we had to talk to Lauren because she's more interesting than us anyway,
Yeah.
and does cool things. But we need to catch up on stuff. So a couple of things. We never once talked about Spartan Tremblant, and thinking back, what we were going to do, we were going to wait and we were going to watch the coverage and talk about it, and so I did. And I hate to say this because I love the OSU report and they try so hard and they do really good, but the coverage sucked. So you really didn't get much. So what we got out of it essentially was it was great seeing Mick back in there. Brendan Neely taking the win. Sam doing it. So Sam, Brendan, and Mick had a great race through and through. Was awesome to see those guys all three back out there. By the way, two Team OFX guys on the podium, one too. So
Hmm.
there you go for that. It's fantastic. And then in the women's race, oh Lisa, mm,
Music.
yeah, she took the win. And then I can't remember. I'm sorry, I'm gapping on the girl who came second. And then Susan Snitinsky came third
Hmm.
and was good to see. And also Jill Sargent, who, uh, good friend, and out of nowhere, she had that run at toughest, and she ended up winning the ultra at Tremblant as well.
Hmm.
She is just like a little diesel engine,
Yeah.
and like has that running style like the girl from Europe. Um,
The shuffle.
yeah,
Yeah.
that ultra
The low
shuffle.
knee. Yeah. The low knee shuffle.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but is she working it? She's just working it. So, course looked beautiful. Everything looked great, went really well. Just the coverage was a little lapse and difficult to see. And
So the men's race had a little bit of drama too. I don't know if you
yeah,
saw, but yeah, Mick did really hurt himself on a downhill. So I mean, if you know Mick Drello, he is one of the fastest runners in OCR pure runners, and he did have a lead, and then
yeah.
just hit stone wrong and did some damage to his foot. So
Yeah, I talked to him the next day. He gave me a phone call, and yeah, he just the way he described it was weird, just out of nowhere. But he
yeah.
said he was in a boot afterwards, and
As
yeah,
far as
so
we know, he said nothing was broken.
no, but it's funny. He gets weird things, right? Like when we went to Red Deer, he rolled his ankle nearly so bad in his cool down
In
run.
the cool down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then he does this like Um, but I do know this, and if anyone has a doubles code to Toronto they want to sell, I know that Brendan Neely and Mick Girello are trying to get into the doubles for Hyrox in Toronto as a team. And like I would like to see that team roll. That
Mhm.
would be an impressive team. At least I know that, you know, not a lot of experience, but you would have a lot of speed.
Oh yeah, they just have to smash those runs.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I'm sure they would. I'm sure they would.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they would be prepared.
Oh yeah, and it's not like either guy is a weak man. Like they're
No.
they're they're strong guys,
Yeah.
especially for their size. They're really good. So
Mhm.
So trombone, that's pretty much what we got. Finally talk about your holiday and where you went and what you did.
Yeah, we went to Colorado to visit my brother, but it was also the weekend of the Vail Mountain Games. So if anyone in the Colorado has ever been there, we did actually see a couple OCR people there. The Vail Mountain Games is a whole weekend that's really everything that you could imagine doing on the mountain. There's mountain biking. There was the whole weekend was full of also dog competitions like high jump, long jump. It was so fun to watch. There was rock climbing, obviously mountain running. There was fly fishing, kayaking. Like it was just such a cool experience to be a part of. So we did jump in. And actually there was a hockey tournament, which doesn't really sound like it fits in there, but in Vail there's an arena right in the middle of it too. So my son was involved in a hockey tournament there, which was really fun for him. And we jumped in the 10K. Jeff and I jumped in on the one morning there and got very, very defeated by many mountain runners, as we knew we would. Again, we don't train anything at all with any vertical whatsoever.
At
And
elevation.
at elevation, yeah, Vail is actually quite significant elevation. Yeah, so but it was a blast. Like again, we weren't in it to win it by any means. Very, very good mountain runners come out to this. So and people that are on like the US mountain running teams that go compete at the world championships are there. Just for perspective, this mountain race, which the first climb was like 3.5 kilometers up, and then we dropped down and then another big climb and then back down. But the winner was 36 minutes.
Wow.
For 10K on a mountain
Mountain
with
running at
tons
elevation.
of vert. Vert, there was technical, like, excuse me, like, how do you even do that? And then there was a 20K, and I think the 20K was won in like a 113.
It's unreal.
Unbelievable. So I was like somewhere in the middle, but it's so impressive to see how fast people can really like at the best of the best like move on these mountains. So yeah, it just blew my mind. I We had a blast though, but yeah, the technical running, I can do okay on uphills, but the technical running piece for just the average mountain runner is just bombing down.
Well, they're just cut loose and gone.
Oh yeah, and it's a skill in itself, and it's something that obviously I never trained. So yeah, it was a quite a sight to see. But the most beautiful views that, I've done a couple races where Lake Tahoe, I can and uh on Big White, like Kelowna, where the view is just completely like awe-inspiring. This was another one where you come out of after the climb and you look out and there's snow caps off in the distance and it was just so beautiful. So yeah, we had a really good time in Vail.
Did you guys run together or did you just kind of run your own races?
We ran together. There
Okay.
wasn't, yeah, we wanted to just kind of have fun with it. We weren't really racing. Like we knew neither one of us really stood a chance. So Annie Doobie was there. She was like about fifth-ish. No, fifth in the age group, maybe. Um,
That's still
Kelly
impressive.
Bierman was there. Yeah, so we saw some OCR people.
Nice.
Mhm.
So on the west side, but not anywhere in the same area. So we're talking about in Calgary. There was also an event going to be called Rocky Mountain something where it was like a CrossFitty slash hybrid racing event.
Oh, yes.
Used to be more CrossFitty. Now they went to more hybrid, taking away a lot of the high skill stuff and going into the more, like I said, more hybrid. Unfortunately, they canceled the event, which was disappointing
Oh,
because it looked like a really cool event and they ended up canceling it. And to their credit, they did something that most events don't do. They said, we're canceling it because we just didn't have enough people sign up.
really?
Yeah. So no games, no shenanigans, no nothing. Just own up. Hey, we didn't get the interest. We'll try again next year. And I think that's great because that lets people know that if you are interested in doing this, sign up or they will just, we won't have the events. So, um,
What do you think then? Do you think it was just bad timing with being so close to Hyrox Worlds, kind of drawing a similar crowd?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if maybe like maybe for them it was a step away from their core audience because their core audience was predominantly CrossFitters, and then maybe this has a little more because it was pretty much like it looked cool. The events were like, odd object lifting
Yeah.
and then vert trail runs for 3K and stuff like it looked like a lot of fun. But to some CrossFitters, it might be like, yeah, I got no interest in that. And that was their core audience. So maybe the shift didn't quite go the same and maybe just not enough people knew about it or whatever, like maybe not enough market. I don't know, but it looked like fun. I was really interested, not for this year because just the timing of seeing it, but I was interested for next year because I was thinking I'll go visit my boy in Calgary and go do that event. So
Hmm.
hopefully next year it becomes a thing because I would like to give it a try. And I thought it would be very, very cool event. I liked the way they were setting things up. Very simplistic and yet strong. And with
Yeah.
the running, it was a good combo.
Move heavy things, run fast.
Exactly, exactly. And it wasn't ridiculous. And it had a lot of different categories. So, much like RX1, where it's like no
Yeah.
matter what your level was at, you would be okay and should be able to do it. Um, that said, speaking of RX1, so the weekend that weekend, I did RX1 and at the same venue where you had been before, our double under venue, which most people remember it as like, in RX1 terms, this is the technical running on a ski hill, but for us, it's the one with double unders.
Yeah.
And
Detrimental
Death
double under.
Tremendous and heavy carries that heavy carry. So the thing with this one was too, and I went into it with exactly the same thought as to be expected. I'm gonna contend and do what I can until the double unders, and then I'll get smashed. And it went exactly according to plan. So, so yeah, I mean, I just kind of I took it easy on the uphill, a little quick on the downhill. Got through. We had shoulder to overheads, had a sled, which was actually shockingly light for RX1 because normally RX1 sleds are deadly. This one was not too bad. And then back up the hill with this farmer carry one hand, shoulder rack with another, as switch back and forth if you want as you went up the hill and back down. And then into again for expert was that 80 pound dead ball carry up and down the hill and just eats you alive, just killer.
Mhm.
So we had that, and then you race back down into the rep zone. Everything went pretty well for me there, and then yeah, I got to the double unders, and it was like I was better this time because last year it was like I could do one.
Yeah.
This year at times I got up to like five.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was not as bad, but it was still
Mhm.
shit.
Yeah.
So it's like not as big a pile of shit, just a smaller pile of shit.
Smaller pile of shit.
Smaller pile of shit. And the crossovers in the middle helped too, because I'm not bad at the crossovers. So that was good. And it
Mhm.
was it was a lot of fun. Again, it was a good event. We had some good the judging was good. There was a couple of mistakes we've seen this time. But still on the whole, quality judging through the thing. So and when we pointed out the mistakes, they did something about it,
Mm.
right?
Mhm.
There was actually some action. So that was really cool to have. So Arch1 was a lot of fun. And for me, we got one more left in the finals this year. Looking forward to that. And then there was the one this last weekend that we missed that would have been for you totally.
I know there's a 5K run.
To start it. 5K run out the gun. And it didn't look like there was much that would vex you. Like it looked like, and also monkey bars and rope climbs.
Yeah, I've never seen a monkey bars in an RX one.
First one I ever did in 2017 had monkey bars and rope climb in it,
Mhm.
and I haven't seen them since. Well, sorry, that's untrue. You're right. Rope climb we did have at the finals 2 years ago, and another no, and last year because I had toes to rope at one event.
Oh, yes, I remembered you telling me about this
Yeah,
one.
toes to rope were pretty cool. So yeah, I've seen the rope climb, but I hadn't seen the monkey bars back, and I think they're keeping it away from us on purpose.
The
Think this
runners,
is the yeah trying to
the
keep
English.
away
Yeah.
trying to keep away the monkey bars, rope climbs, and the long runs from us through the well, long runs from you, but trying to keep that stuff away because they're against us, Beth. I told
I
Seb,
know.
I said I
Uh-huh.
thought the double unders were a direct assault on me.
Yeah.
I do vow I'm going to podium at that venue next year.
You're gonna work on double unders
I'll have
then?
my double unders cleaned up, and I will podium at that event next year. I was probably going into the double unders, I think, in fourth, and
Mhm.
I finished eighth. So and I there was other things I'd clean up too, but I did well through the rep zone and stuff. I enjoyed the rep zone. Oh, Beth, they had med ball sit-ups and thrusters put together.
Oh, amazing.
I was like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was a
Mm.
good event. Enjoyed it. Oh, what do we want to talk about next? Do you want to talk about we never talked about DEKA records, did we?
Like on here.
Yeah, yeah, on here. Do we want to talk about that? I mentioned it before I'm at the podcast, but let's just and I'll reiterate it that Amber Tate and Kevin Gregory set a co-ed strong record, and then Kevin Gregory and Zach Tate set what I accept as the mile record for male. So
Yes.
that's what I accept as the mile record, and I will
Mhm.
continue to do so.
Yes. Because there are some records still that maybe need to be rectified.
Yeah, and
Verified.
from this point on, I would love it if, and I mean we said it many times, all if all records, video shown, courses mapped and stuff like let's clean it up. Let's make it legit.
Yeah.
It's gone on
Well,
long enough.
maybe at this point, for people that agree with us, just start doing it so it sets a bit of a standard.
Well, and I think that's what they did there. Like Kevin and
Yeah.
Zach is on video. Amber and Kevin's is on video.
Yeah.
And I
Did they
know
show the distances for
that's the
things?
only thing I haven't seen. They didn't show the distance for the run, but
Well, I think, and same thing for the farmer's carry and the tank. I
yeah,
think showing a measuring tape and showing the exact distance, which should also be part of it.
it
You know,
should be.
the weights of the ball,
Oh
like
yeah.
just like we did with all these virtual comps.
I would like to see that. And what I'd like to see is not the individuals do this, but the people holding the competition do it as a whole from the beginning. Right. So
Yeah.
like at Farm Girl, when we hold a competition, I should be videoing, here's our 10 meters, here's our 10 meters, here's our equipment. And then that way, if somebody sets a record there, they'll have their video of them doing it, but I'll have the video to back up to back them up saying, yes, these are all the distances and the equipment they used. Because
Hmm.
you don't want everyone having to video it. You just take too long. You couldn't, you don't want everyone having to go around and measure everything for their video specifically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just logistically not possible.
Hmm.
So hopefully people are gonna, and that's why I say hats off to, I mean, the three of them, Kevin, Amber, and Zach, for at least doing the videos, putting it out there live, and
Yeah.
because you face ridicule for stuff sometimes if you do that. So
Hmm.
good for them for doing that. Other decade bit strong world knowledge that I have been given the okay to talk about today is that substitutions will now be allowed at Worlds for relays in the event that one partner cannot make it. I'm calling this the Bethany and Heather rule.
Is it? Yes. Okay. It's
Yeah, because
starting with that.
you guys caused all the stink.
Yes, not last year, in 2023.
2023, yeah. So in 2023, and it wasn't, for the record, it was not just you. My team was a sub. Kevin Gregory's team was a sub. Riley's team was a sub. I think we worked out that like seven of the nine podiums were subs. Like there was a lot
Yeah.
of substitutions. So some people did not like that. DEKA decided for the following year that it would not be allowed. This year, you will now be able to have substitutions provided. And let's just use you and I as an example because we have teamed up before. Let's say we were going to do the mile and you were not able to go, or use me, I'm not able to go. You can then, under these circumstances, so you want to replace me as a teammate. Now, to replace me as a teammate, this means I cannot go to Worlds and compete in any other category,
Hmm.
right? right? So it means like I cannot make worlds. The only caveat to that is, let's say we were racing the mile and I raced the fit the day before and I got injured.
Yeah.
Or I can't even say injured. I became unavailable for whatever reason. I was at the event, I raced the fit, something came up, I had to leave, I got injured, somehow I became unavailable,
Yeah.
then you could replace me. But in that scenario, DEKA needs to approve the situation,
Hmm.
right? But predominantly it'll be a situation whereas let's say you and I were going to go race the mile 2 weeks out or whatever, it doesn't really matter the timeline, but I find out, hey Beth, I can't go, whatever the reason, then you will be allowed to replace me because I will not be at the event.
Hmm.
All right. The other real rule about that is that as a individual, you will only be able to be linked to one qualification per division.
Right.
So, to just to explain that, we used Kevin Gregory as an example.
Yeah, this would be the Kevin Gregory rule.
This would be the Kevin Gregory rule,
Mhm.
yes. Whereas Kevin, and will you say Kevin in the mixed, in the co-ed strong, Kevin
Mhm.
could find 15 different women and qualify with all of them, and then all of a sudden hold all the spots, and then they would
And then
want
each one of these women could
could
find
could
that's
find a partner. And then yeah, like let's say for argument's sake, Kevin all of a sudden decides I'm not going to Worlds. All of these women boom, 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 could replace Kevin on the leaderboard with somebody else.
Mhm.
So he or anybody can only be linked to one qualification. And, and the other way I said to do this was, and this is to stop things like, we use our friend Carolyn Prevo as an example. So I could get a lot of the girls at Farm Girl to, I'll say, hey Carolyn, here's $200. Come over here. We need to do a bunch of strongs, qualify 5 different women for it. And Carolyn having no intention of going whatsoever, and those women could just replace her with whoever. So that's where that rule is. You can only be linked to one qualification spot.
Is there a rule around the person that you can bring in?
No,
Okay.
no, no. Oh, sorry. Yes. Yeah, that should be yes. As long there is no rule as long as they are still in the same category. So if you're competing in age group, they have to be the same age group. They have to be the same gender as the person they're replacing.
Right. So you stay in the same division.
Exactly. As
Uh,
long as you're staying
Yeah.
now in elite, as long as you're the same gender, doesn't matter. But if like say you're like me, trying to be in the 80 to 99 category, and my partner need to be replaced, I have to make sure that the replacing partner keeps us in the same category.
Yeah. But there's no rule around they have to have completed a DECA.
Nope. No,
Okay.
no, nothing like that. It's not like I said, the rules are pretty simple and straightforward, and
Yeah.
I think appropriate.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's a step forward. It should be in the rulebook very soon, but I was told that we were allowed to discuss it and bring it forward. Yeah, and I think it's about time. Like, I mean, every sport has a replacement thing,
Yes.
and this is too small a sport and too small a community to not have a
Yeah.
replacement. And from DEKA's perspective, I mean, they want to sell this thing out, right? Like they want to make sure,
Yeah.
people go. And I think this and opinions differ on this, but I like this because what it stops us from having to do is traveling around and qualifying with 4 or 5 different partners just in case,
Yeah.
you know, like in case this partner isn't available, or in case, and now this stops it because if, for example, I have sitting in a qualifying spot in the mile right now, if my partner can't make it, I don't have to go race with 3 other people as
Yeah.
backups,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and so I can just be
And
there.
that's a lot of time and money put out
Yeah,
just for in case.
yes, and yes, travel, gas.
Yeah.
So
Time.
yeah, so thank you, DEKA. Finally, I'm happy with that. All right, some Hyrox stuff. Okay, so the Morning Chalk Up had a thing about Hyrox, and they put up a post saying Hyrox is on the rise. And I went through the comments, and a lot of typical comments are like, who cares? It's just like doing a CrossFit WOD over and over again. CrossFit is awesome. Hyrox sucks. A lot of that, all the typical crap. Um, so a couple of things that I think some of the CrossFit community doesn't understand. I'm going to clear this up. Hyrox is not like CrossFit. All right. CrossFit is a methodology. CrossFit is a training platform, a training program, all that stuff. CrossFit Games is an event, but CrossFit itself is not. It's like I said, it's a training methodology.
Yeah.
Hyrox is a race. They're
Yeah.
not the same thing. If you want to
Mhm.
compare the CrossFit Games to a Hyrox, fine. That at least they're both competitions. But just because someone does Hyrox, like you don't have to be at each other. And for the people who say doing Hyrox is just like doing CrossFit WOD over and over again, yes, yes, it is. It's exactly what it's like.
Yeah.
This is not a problem. This is not a bad thing.
Mhm.
I mean, you do Murph every year. It's
Yeah.
just doing the same one over and over again. It's okay. It's fine. You don't have to battle. You're not, be like, why can't we be friends? Like
I'm very I got a little bit stuck scrolling through the comments on that morning chalk up, and
mhm.
I don't understand the animosity from CrossFitters, and it's not across the board because
No,
again we're at a CrossFit gym, and like they love it, and a lot of them are going to compete in it, and they encourage the certain CrossFit athlete who really likes to run that this is you're going to train for this a little bit more than some of the other CrossFit stuff, like, and it's it's not like that everywhere. I don't really understand, like I've never come across someone who feels that way, so I'm not sure what pockets where this is really coming from, because I find it really interesting because I mean I don't see that personally from CrossFit communities. So like I don't it's again it's the idea that you know CrossFit is the best. If it's not CrossFit, then it's not good enough. And I don't get it because if Hyrox was Murph, they'd be all about it.
yeah.
But it just Hyrox didn't wasn't a CrossFit workout before. But I mean, the CrossFitters that I've seen, like they love it,
Well,
minus all the running for some of them. But some of them are like, that's awesome. Like it's a good challenge.
but here's the hypocritical thing, right? The same people saying, well, it's just a CrossFit WOD over and over again, but then saying it's not CrossFit, so it's junk. It's just they're
It's a
just
work. It's just
semantics.
it's a workout
Yeah,
that
it's just
is
semantics
now
of the
a race
word.
brand. Yeah.
Anyway, so I thought that was interesting, and I'm thought like I just want to say
But that's also like saying the 5K is a CrossFit workout and you just do it all the time.
I did make that same comparison. Yes, yes. Or
Well,
the decathlon, it's just the same every time.
right.
You
Like
know,
how do you, yeah.
I just
Well, DEKA fit.
yeah, that's right. And I'll just put it out there. And I've said this many times. You do not have to be race monogamous. You can experience all the joys of life. You can do CrossFit, you can do Hyrox, you can do DEKA, you can do the Rocky Mountain Games if they have it. You can do it all, and it's okay. And the other thing I want to address is a lot of the CrossFit people still are like, well, if the fittest people in CrossFit go do Hyrox, they can win it, they can do this, and maybe they can. Now, it's been proven that not without a lot of specific training, you're not going to do it. Just because, yes,
Yeah.
you're incredibly fit from CrossFit, but this is a different workout, and it's same as in CrossFit. If you want to excel at one thing, you got to focus a little more on that thing. So
Hmm.
no denying that some of the CrossFit athletes can be amazing at Hyrox, but they have to focus on it. And that's just the way it is, right?
Yeah.
It's been proven. You've had some of the best CrossFitters give it a shot and they do well, but they're not at the top.
Yeah.
And because they need to, and everyone will tell you, I need to dial it in. I need to dial in the running. I need to dial it in.
More running than most CrossFitters ever want to do.
That's right.
And
And,
it's so strength endurance focus.
and then the other thing I saw was Hyrox is not on the rise. It's just marketing. Okay. Yes, Hyrox is doing a great job with marketing. They are really good at it. Um, it's been from day one. Their attendance at these races quite literally has increased 1,000%. So like races that were getting 400 people 2 years ago are now getting 4 to 5,000.
Yeah,
Like
you can't really argue with the numbers.
yeah, it is on the rise. It is quite like that. And if it wasn't on the rise, then the people in CrossFit wouldn't be talking about it because they wouldn't know about it.
Well, and again, why are these people complaining about it? Why do they feel threatened?
Yeah, and that's it. They shouldn't feel threatened. It's not the same thing. Like it's not.
Yeah.
If you want to train CrossFit and go run Hyrox, go ahead. It's great. It's
Mhm.
awesome. I love CrossFit. Big fan. The two intertwine. They work well together.
And a
But
lot of Hyrox athletes train at CrossFit gyms because it's very
oh
applicable.
yeah. Yeah, it's very beneficial. I don't know. I don't know. So anyway, yeah, that's just I just had to go because I just get blown away that it's still happening.
Yeah.
You know, and we're just more like, yeah, I want to see these CrossFitters try it. I want to see Emily Rolfe try it. I want to see Emma Lawson try it. I want to see, Vellner or Fikowski give it a shot.
Emma Lawson's coming to Toronto.
Yes, you get to beat her, right?
Uh, well, I don't know. I get to race her. But again, some of the people from the CrossFit gym that we're at are like, "Oh, she's gonna win." I'm like, "Is she?" I don't know.
Uh,
Like maybe, but
so
I, yes, she's amazing at CrossFit, but that doesn't mean that she's necessarily amazing at Hyrox. But
now I don't have a list of the entries and it is sold out,
yeah.
but I do know some of the women that are not in it that are trying to get in it that would definitely give Emma Lawson. And by the way, I'm a massive Emma Lawson fan.
Oh yeah.
That would make Emma Lawson should make Emma Lawson very worried.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think I'd so look forward to her doing it. That's going to be awesome. I hope that I hope she's running actually the solo pro wave and not running a doubles or whatever. If she runs that too, fine. But
Yeah,
I'd
I
want
think
to see
she
her
is
perform in that
running
pro wave.
solo.
I'm going to try to get the list. I'm going to see if I can get that list.
Yeah, I could probably get it. If, we've talked about this too before, but and with some of the Hyrox ambassadors, we've talked about it. But if you could bring on a Canadian athlete who, think like Lance Armstrong type celebrity, who's an
Mhm.
athlete that's a Canadian then, who's maybe not, they're like more on the retirement side of their sport, would you bring in?
William Shatner.
What?
I want someone I can beat. No, yeah, I think
Like
you would
they
have.
don't have to be necessarily like podium potential, but someone that you would like to see give it a good go.
Yeah, and again, I think we did talk about this, and I can never remember his name, but I would like to see that Canadian decathlete give it a shot.
Damian Warner is still competing.
Yeah, well, I didn't know there was hard and fast rules. He had to be retired, but he would definitely be
I
something.
know. You're right.
All right,
Damian,
same thing. Ben Johnson. There you go. We got the Lance Armstrong equivalent.
don't do random drug testing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, so I would think back to people like that, but that's
But
too
why
far.
a sprinter?
Yeah,
Like
what's
I
that?
think the Lance Armstrong thing made sense because at least he's an endurance athlete, but you're asking a sprinter to
No, 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 no. But
do it.
oh, wow. So endurance. I don't know. You have the better idea on that world than I would, but I would like to see like Emily Rolfe is one that comes to mind. But again, she's not retired, so we're working with this retired thing here.
Well, but at least she's CrossFit.
Yeah, she crosses. She's one I would really like to see because she is a good runner. Um,
Okay, think like someone like a Wendell Clark, like
oh
someone
God.
who like maybe come in and like smash an age group who's, hockey celebrity back in the day.
Well, it's not Canadian, but what about Zdeno Chara? Because he's running marathons and stuff like that now. Um,
Uh yeah. And he was Boston.
yeah, Boston Bruin captain and he
Yeah.
Ottawa, and I mean
6'9".
6'9", 270, 260 when he was playing.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most feared fighters in the league, as well as a great defenseman.
That would be really exciting.
He
Maybe
would,
I'll reach out on Instagram.
yeah. So he has been running marathons. He's been running a lot of marathons lately, and he
Yeah,
has
and he's like a low 3 hour marathoner. I did look this up recently and he was like, oh, I forget the number, but it was low threes anyways, on the lower side of things, and like under 3:30, let's say. Which is, I mean, that could
what
do
about?
very well.
So I think about a guy like Gary Roberts. Gary Roberts was always considered this peak of physical fitness when he was playing because when he first came into the league, he was kind of just a not so fit, but then he got a neck injury and had to really rehab it and go through it and all that stuff. And that's when he got into properly training. So guys like him, Rob Brindamore, who I think coaches Carolina still now, and he was always super fit, still looks great, great shape.
Mhm.
So there's a few good names. In their primes, it would be different. Yeah, yeah, the primes would be different.
Yeah.
But yeah, women. So what about like Manon Rhéaume? She played in the NHL there for a game. That'd be interesting.
Oh, like yeah,
Goalie
like
though, there's no
Bailey
way she'd have them running.
Wickenheiser.
Haley Wickenheiser, yeah, she was a beast. She could compete. Um, what about
Yeah.
like? I would think when you start to think like some biathlon people too, because they got that wicked stamina.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I
Yeah.
know. We're just thinking a little bit of stardom.
Yeah. Well, then there's none. We got no stardom. Well, you know, endurance athletes in Canada got no stardom.
I know. I was just thinking the hockey players, essentially, like when we're talking Canadians and athletes and people that would get some like excitement around it.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be interesting. I think you'd be better to go to like a celebrity like a Ryan Reynolds.
Is he Canadian?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Totally Canadian. I think he's done a marathon or two as well.
You're right. I think he has, yeah.
Yeah. And he owns
Yeah.
a couple of sports teams. So, I mean, that would be a big one, I think, if you go like that. And now I'm
Mhm.
back to William Shatner. Shat in there, kicking ass.
Do people know Melissa Bishop that are our followers? So she was a 800-meter Olympian. She was fourth at the 2016 Olympics, but she's been to three Olympic Games. I ran with her in Windsor, but I think she would be someone who do I don't as far as the track world is concerned, she's like top of the top celebrity in Canada.
What about that girl who's eating up the swimming right now?
The young girl.
Yeah, yeah, she'd be one. We've seen the
Penny.
swimmers. We've seen the swimmers do well at Hyrox,
True. Look at Vivian.
and Alexander Ronkovich.
hmm
You know, big swimming background. So
hmm
that's cool. Yeah, think of names. Think of names of people that would be good to see, or people you'd like to see it do it. I think that's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
By the way, another Hyrox thing since you mentioned Lance Armstrong, still no results from the drug testing yet. Will we ever see him?
probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah, they're all clean.
They're all clean, clean as a whistle.
hmm
So we'll leave it for that. What else? Oh, do you want to talk about the influencer Murph?
Ugh.
I thought we were maybe going to let Jeff tear loose on that one time, but
I know I know I could go on a tangent too about fitness influencers because sometimes it's the bane of my existence with the questions that I get from my clients and um
I thought the bane of your existence was Ozempic.
oh, that was one of the things too. It's like that one's tiny because I don't think people come to me that, but it has happened in my life.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So the one we're specifically were talking about, I don't remember the guy's name, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Just leave you follow him if you wanted. But Hiller
Or look up
pointed out.
Hillier.
Yeah, Hiller pointed it out. And this guy, he's a fitness influencer, big dude, all jacked up. So he went out and put his Murph video out describing what it was and everything, and showed his, his movements, and his movements were less than stellar. There was stuff like he showed him running out of the garage and running back in, and the clouds didn't move. So like there was no way he ran a mile in between it. Squats weren't to depth, pull-ups weren't high enough, push-ups were anyway, it is what it is. And then he listed himself as a time of 42.
48 minutes.
What's that?
48.
48 minutes. And that bothers me because that's faster than my time. So, and he showed him like stopping and marking in between the board. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but if you're doing Murph and you are running it in the fastest 48 minutes, you do not have time to stop and mark on a whiteboard.
And like very neatly mark.
Yes, yes. So
And move the camera
for each individual thing.
the individual movements, unless he has multiple cameras set up to get himself at all the angles in his garage gym.
And not a drop of sweat. Guy was
You're
dry
a
as a
big
bone.
dude.
Guy
Yeah.
was dry as a bone. So the thing that comes to me though, and I started thinking about this, and because I like to try to think about from the other side of it, the other perspective, is a lot of people do this, and runners, especially trail runners, set up a camera, run by, take it down, run over there. So it's not necessarily part of their trail run that's on Strava or that they're talking about. So maybe in this scenario, this guy did that. It is possible that that's what he did. The problem I still have with it is if you are doing that, you're doing your best reps for those videos.
Right. Looks
And
better
those
than.
those reps are no good.
Mhm.
And if you're doing it and you want to claim any kind of time whatsoever, whatever, and you're a fitness influencer, you should have the proper video. Right? Now, this guy's time, 48, and again, this is knocking myself. 48 is good. It's not fantastic. It's good.
Mhm.
But so if he didn't have the full video, I'd be okay, especially if he just owned up and said, hey, this is just me demonstrating some of the movements, reenactment. If you just own up and come clean and say what it is, that's cool. That's fine. But
Hmm.
you know, don't just be real.
Yeah. Well, and again, on this video, a lot of people were offended because this is a hero workout, and it's the purpose of it is to honor like our soldiers who, so it's to kind of, in a sense, what the words were to make a mockery of it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Terrible reps, you obviously didn't run the distance if you in fact were doing that during your video. Yeah, to make an Instagram video because you're trying to be an influencer.
Yeah. And I mean, like I had a little clip from mine when I did the Murph this year, and you see me run into the garage and I'm falling over, stupid, done,
Hmm.
right? And this guy was like, do, 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 just jogging. And you do not jog in on the last round of Murph
If
like
you've
that.
ever done Murph, no, the last mile is a death mile.
Yeah, you are, and again, especially for a man of this side, 48, whatever, is a decent time. It's
Yeah.
not CrossFit Elite, it's not world beating, it's not Alec Blinnis, I'm going to challenge your record. But for a guy that size, that's a good time. And I
Hmm.
just like to see more people back up with. And this goes back to the DEKA thing. Just back it up. Back up what you say. Back up what you do. Get some evidence. I mean, I don't know. I videoed mine, like,
The
and
whole
no,
thing.
well, I can't video the run, but you can check on Strava the run I did, and
Oh,
um, and then I videoed the movements and stuff, right? So I just let the camera run the whole time. But nobody gives a shit about me, so it doesn't matter. I'm not an influencer. But I still did it just because I was going for a PR, right? I was going for a PR and I wanted to see what I could do. And I wanted to, I don't want to, if I get called out, I want to see these were what my reps look like. This is what I did, right? So I did it. And I would actually one day, I would like to go and set fastest Murph for a guy over 50.
do you know what it is?
No, nobody does. So I pretty much figure as long as I do a proper video, I got it. I can claim it until someone proves me wrong.
Okay.
But I think fair enough. I think realistically, I could I could get I could do it probably under 45.
Okay.
Maybe 44, somewhere around there. Which is good. Like cap at the CrossFit Games was 55 minutes when you
Yeah.
get time capped. So I'm like, if I could do at 50 years old, I could do at 45. That's good. Right now I was 49:30 and I didn't do butterfly pull-ups.
Yeah.
And I didn't not do them because of principle. I didn't do them because I hadn't practiced them in a while and I was not capable of doing them.
Yeah.
But now I've got them back.
Hmm.
So I think I can, plus I could run a lot better. So yeah, I just think if I train for it, I think I could get sub 45 and I would put that out there and just kind of like one of those deals of
See what happens.
here's the record, prove me wrong. If you prove me wrong, then you have it. But if I did it, I would do it properly like Alec Blennis did it. Add a track, bring the pull-up bar there and do it right so that, you know, yeah,
Yeah.
set it
It's an
up
actual
properly.
mile.
So it's yeah, because what I did this year, I could have cheated like mad. My GPS told me I had hit 2 miles, probably 4 minutes before I was complete.
Hmm.
So I could have already just said, 45 minutes there. But yeah, so that's the other thing. If you're doing Murph and it's on a GPS, take it with a grain of salt. You might not be quite right.
Yeah. Hmm.
But I knew mine was right because I actually wheeled my block. I want to be sure. And I had people coming over to do theirs, so I wanted to make sure that they got it. They were able to say they did it right.
Yeah, I would have too.
Oh, so speaking of Murph, this weekend or last weekend, I did what we would call Murph intervals. So I actually did Murph, but it was a very different way. So this time has no bearing on anything. But so broke it into 20 rounds of 160-meter run, 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 squats. No vest. I didn't wear a vest. And oh my God, what a different experience it was.
Oh, yeah.
And it was awesome. I loved it. It was a great workout.
Well, that run would just totally give you a break.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I just kind of took it easy on the run.
Yeah.
I ran it like I think like 520 per kilometer pace, like
Hmm.
just nice and easy. And ended up it was 35, 40 something, somewhere around there.
Hmm.
And just But like if you I just the reason I thought of doing it that way was like, well, if you ever like are stuck and don't know what to do for a workout and you only have like 20 minutes, well, it doesn't take a very long warm up to get ready for it.
And you, other than a pull-up bar, you don't need anything,
Yeah, you don't need anything other than a pull-up bar.
which you could do like without a real pull-up bar.
Oh
Like
yeah,
you
you
could
can
do that at the like a park or whatever.
exactly monkey bars, throw some rings over a soccer goal post. Like,
Yeah.
there's tons of things you can do. So I'm just like, if you're stuck in a pinch, what a great workout to do. And just like if you did 20-minute AMRAP, as many rounds as I can get in, or do the whole thing. Like it just a nice little quick. I have no idea what to do. I have no time. I'm on holidays. I've got
Hmm.
no equipment. Off I go.
Yeah.
And like I said, the big thing is it doesn't take a long warm up to get in to get ready for it. Like most of the movements are movements you do in your warm up,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So I was really impressed. I loved it. It was great. No, I'm getting a look here. What's the look? Oh no, she's just tired. All right. DEKA, North Carolina.
Hmm.
All right. So DEKA, North Carolina happened. Again, no OCR report coverage, but the hybrid report did a bit of a one-man live stream.
Okay.
So it was okay. What we did see was Tara Jackson, Team OFX, and Dylan Scott, Team OFX.
Hmm.
Both take the win and pretty much cement themselves for Worlds.
Yeah.
Dylan, I think, had the second fastest time so far this year.
Yeah. 39.
Yeah, just behind Isaac,
Yeah.
with 29 something. And then
Sorry, 29.
and Tara, I think the top five-ish right around there. So she's good. She's good to go for that.
Yeah.
Um,
33 high-ish.
we did also see another Nick Riker time of 30:18, 30:20, doing Nick Riker things.
Yeah.
As well. Colin Steeford looked pretty good there. And then we had in the women's split, we had Tara and then Jess Petro. Or
Hmm.
sorry, not Jess Petro, Jess Towel. Toll. Jess Toll, not Towel. Jess Toll. Was it Jess Toll or was it no, it was Jess Petro. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Getting my Jessica's wrong here. Anyway, she made her debut, ran with Tara very well from the beginning, ended up coming second. She had a really good run, and I think it will be good enough to get her in there. Um, I'm pretty sure that'll be good enough to get her in there. And as well, a new girl came in. What was her name? It was Oh, we are not on the right board here.
Well, I will see.
You want to take a look, or I can have it
Yep.
pretty quick.
Alexandra Chabot.
There you go. Yeah. So she came in and had a pretty decent run of
Yeah.
35:57, which we think there's going to be 15 this year. Last year, you would have had to be sub 35 to get in. So I think that 35:57 would probably be good to get in on a roll down.
Yeah. I think so.
But yeah, so all good times. And then good relays too. We had Kevin Gregory again find himself another speedster with young King. What's his name? Daniel was it
Daniel
Daniel?
King.
Daniel King, yeah. Who I saw run in North Carolina last year. And this kid's like a 15-minute 5K kid.
Yeah.
I don't think a kid, but young guy. And good team. They were in like a 25-minute, took the win. Uh, who else do we have for the teams?
Imogen Cross and Nicole Fisher. They were 31-34 for the women's team win.
Now, is that the same team that Imogen was running last year?
Think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a decent time.
Yeah. So you scouting these guys, or you like, yeah, line them up here?
Well, I mean, we raced them last year.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and we raced them in Philly last year.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then you had Marissa Pope and Keaton Billings too doing their thing. Um,
And yeah, Tara Jackson and Colin Steefer won the co-ed.
yeah. So I couldn't compete this year, so Tara had to replace me with Colin Steefer. It seems like a reasonable thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you gotta get pretty deep to replace me there. So they may have edged out mine and Tara's time by like, you know, a few seconds and minutes. So, but he didn't. they might have got first, but I still got third. I'll take it. And she was dressed better for my podium. She had like a
Fair.
fancy dinner dress on.
She
So
had a going out outfit. Yeah.
that's right. That's right. I'm getting really dark here. Um, so anyway, it was the other thing from that event I want to say, our boy Pat Millington, he went down there and he came second in the ruck division.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, and he like put a good. I mean, he beat some good guys in that one. Like,
Mhm.
there's no joke. I talked to him. He's like, yeah, I think I'm found my thing. I'm going to do at Worlds this year.
Really?
Yeah, so and it makes sense. Dude's a firefighter. He's used to running around with the packs on.
That's true. That's a
You
good
know,
point.
definitely got some mass to him and he's a decent runner. So could do well. Could do very well. And obviously solidifying his time in there as well for Worlds for that. So
Hmm.
yeah. The only other thing I got is I have become completely enamored with Rebecca Fusili and her she, Fusile, sorry. She's a CrossFitter, small girl. You're tight. She's right up your alley, Beth.
Yeah.
And she's got some good Instagram content. And one of the things she has is like she's got a few videos or 5 week training programs for specific movements. So if say example, handstand push-ups, handstand walking, muscle ups, things like that for $5.
Oh.
It's like $5 fitness.
Hmm.
And so I got the one for the muscle up. I haven't started it yet, but it's like I watched some of it and it's like, yeah, it's great. It's just like video. Here's your workout. Here's how to do it. Step, 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 step. Here's your next one. Step, 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 step. Here's the next one. For $5, I mean, if you get
Hmm.
one decent movement out of it,
Hmm.
fantastic. So
Yeah. Good
I
for
was
her.
really impressed. And she's got very funny content online too. She's good.
Yeah, she does. We should also mention our Canadian girl, Emma Cook Clark. So if you follow the trail racing, seeing our one big part of the Skyrunning World Series is the Meet the Minotaur out in Alberta. Um, I know a lot of OCR people have actually done this one. It's a bit of a bucket list race. It's quite incredible. And it's 33K. So Emma actually won it this year. She has won it in the past, though, to be honest. But she's coming back from injury. She's been battling some sickness. But she is fully now in the trail running world. So for her to win this one actually was quite a big deal to come back just after all that she's kind of been going through. So, yeah, way to go, Emma. It's great to see you on top.
Yeah, OCR's loss is definitely their gain. She's amazing. And
Yeah.
anytime I see her speak, it's like it's like innocence. And it's
Yeah.
like she's just completely in awe and shocked by everything around her. And like,
Hmm.
oh, I can't believe I'm here. No, this is so beautiful. She's like the nicest person in the world.
Yeah. Very cute and sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just you can't help but root for her. She's just great.
Yeah.
She's awesome. So I wish she would come back to OCR, but I don't think
Probably
she's
not gonna happen.
probably never gonna happen. She's doing too well with what she does, and she is just
Yeah.
so unassuming.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
there you go. I'd like to see her do a Hyrox.
Oh, she hates flat running. Like
Yeah, but
Emma is one of the best Canadian runners and like will not step on a track again.
I mean, she's got power too. She's not without strength.
Yes, for sure.
Again, another firefighter.
Yeah. I mean, she would do great. I just think she would hate training for it.
Oh, I don't think she would train for it. I think she'd just show up and do her thing.
You're right. Yeah.
And she'd probably still do really well. She'd be like, "What's a wall ball?" And then like go unbroken.
You're right. Yeah. Like the first time she saw Olympus or
Yeah.
whatever, and she just did it. No problem.
And she'd come after her and she'd be on the podium and she'd run like a 61 and go, "Yeah, this was really nice." And everybody's so friendly. And, oh, I get 10 grand for this. Fantastic. She's
Hmm.
just awesome. Just a great person.
Yeah, she is.
Favorites. I really, like I said, OCR's loss for sure.
Yeah.
But all right, I'm done. You done? We're all caught up.
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right, perfect.
Mhm.
Take us home, Beth. Get us out of here.
Yeah, thanks so much as always for listening. We covered lots of things today. So thanks for following us till the end if you've gotten here. And we will talk to you next week.
Take care.